Hey again, everybody, and welcome back to the Homeschool Handle. Again, I'm Angela Barber, the creator of the Homeschool Handle, and I'm coming here to equip you parents in being able to design a good homeschool plan for your next year. So whether you are a newbie parent to homeschooling or a veteran homeschooler that just needs to hit the reset button and start over, either way, I've got you covered. I'm here to help reduce your anxiety and your overwhelm as you plan out your next school year. So here at Homeschool Handle, we believe in three things. That's decoding, designing, and delighting. And I'm going to take you through those three phases when you join my next 7-week training. So 2 days ago, we talked about the first phase, which was the decoding, learning about all the things that are out there that you need to have a knowledge and awareness of so that you can build your homeschool plan. Yesterday, on day 2, we talked about the designing phase. And so taking all the things that you have and really just putting it in order to build from our big picture year all the way down to our very small picture, day by day, subject by subject plan. There's a lot of work in between, but I promise you, you can handle it. I've been doing this for 9 years. I know that I can equip you to be able to make that plan. The last phase is the delighting phase. This phase is very important in understanding how to actually delight in your homeschool because, to be honest, you can have the most perfect plan on paper, and if you have not figured out how to delight in your homeschool, everything will flop. You will still have more hard days than easy days. And ultimately, our goal is to have smooth, easy days with our kids, days that we enjoy and days that they enjoy, right? All right, so let's go over a few of the things that we will cover in the 7-week course of the Homeschool Handle. So first is joy, delight, and grace. This is one of my biggest mantras that I constantly am repeating to myself or out loud, just to remind myself that this is what I'm working for each day. So joy being the actual fun, the laughing, the enjoyment of it, right? Delight, what I mean by that, joy and delight are very similar, but what I mean by delight is actually being fully present in it. Right? As mothers especially, I feel like we can find ourselves being there physically, but our mind being somewhere else down the road, right? The next lesson or the next activity or the next place that I have to go, right? We're all guilty of that. And so learning instead how to really delight, how to be present in the moment with our children, giving them our best so that we can also enjoy it fully ourselves. And then finally, grace. This one's so important. Grace for ourselves, grace for our kids, for these little people who are learning, honestly, really, really hard things. For instance, a quick story, I'm teaching one of my children long division right now. And in my mind, she's a good math student, so I thought, oh, this will make complete sense. And then when I sat down with her, I could just see the confusion setting in of like, okay, so I multiplied that, and now which number do I drop? Why do I drop a number? Where do I subtract? Right? It was all new to her. And I realized, man, this is hard stuff. Like she's learning hard stuff. And often I take it for granted of how hard it is to learn new things, to learn new concepts. So really having grace for our children as they are tackling these new difficult things, but also grace for ourselves because we're going to make mistakes. We're going to go off the end, and lose our cool one day. And all of those things are going to happen, but we can always come back tomorrow and make a new day, or even 5 minutes later and change the experience of our day. All right. So the next thing we'll learn is just that, how to turn a bad day around, right? So I've had many bad days and I have some pretty successful tips on how to turn them around, whether it's turning it around for my kid or for myself or for all of us in general, right? Next, setting a day up for success. So you've heard people say, never go to bed with a dirty kitchen or dishes in the sink or whatever, right? So similar to that, some tips, some ideas that I have for really just setting your day up for success so that when you go into it, you're not kind of dragging your feet or scrambling to get all the things together. You're ready to go. Next, mastering your curriculum. Often, especially for new homeschoolers, you get this beautiful shiny book to open up and start, and you feel very overwhelmed very quickly with all the things that need to be done in the book. And a lot of times those book will say, do these 10 things on this day, these 8 things on this day, these 6 things on this day. Well, what if you have a kid that's sick? What if you have a kid that's not cooperating? What if you have a family emergency, right? All of those things. So really how to master your curriculum rather than letting your curriculum master you. Next, we'll go over having a healthy mindset. This kind of goes back to that joy, delight, and grace, but it also just goes back to understanding who you are and really believing in yourself, right? Believing that you are equipped to do this, believing that you will get to the end of this school year and that it will all work out okay. Then balance and self-care. This is especially important for homeschooling individuals. For me, I am home every day, all day with my children. And while I value anybody that works outside of the home, the few times that I have gotten to have a day away from my children, it is kind of like a vacation. And I love my kids and they're amazing kids, right? But most of the time, I don't get that daily vacation like somebody who works outside the home, right? And so as you know, it's like summer school or kids being home from summer break, right? Many parents feel very overwhelmed by the end of summer break and are looking forward to the school year where they get to send their kids back to school and kind of just get a breather, right? Well, as a homeschooling parent, sometimes you don't get those breathers as often, right? You don't have the coffee break or the lunch break with a friend, things like that. So we have to work in and we have to be really wise up front how to build in that balance and that self-care in order to take care of ourselves so that we can give the best to our homeschool and our kids. All right, practical tips and helpful hints. These are things that I've built over the 9 years, just literally little tricks and tips. For instance, chocolate chips go a long way with toddlers, okay? And so those little tips that'll help you get through either bad attitudes, bad days, or just places where you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle this. I'll share some of those with you. And then finally, walking in confidence, right? By the end of this time, you will walk in confidence. So when you stepped in to really trying to figure out how am I going to pull together a school year, you were feeling that overwhelm. You were feeling that anxiety. You were feeling that confusion. You were feeling that fear, right? Well, when you leave, after going through the 7-week program, you are going to walk out here confident in what you have set up for your school year. You're going to walk out confident knowing that you have all the resources that you need, confident that you know the tips and tricks to help yourself, that you are going to take care of yourself and have a healthy mindset so that you can have that joy and that delight and that grace in every single day, right? So that's what we're going to do here at the Homeschool Handle. Again, 7-week course to take you through that decoding, designing, and delighting. I know it's going to rock your world and it's going to revolutionize your homeschool. So do not delay. Sign up as soon as you can and join my next 7-week course. And I can't wait to take you through this. So next course starts July 5th. Hope to see you there.